Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to jump into one of the most powerful patterns for working with AI, especially when you're staring down a massive project. It's called task decomposition, and honestly, it's your secret weapon for turning total chaos into a clear, doable plan. You know this feeling, right? We've all been there. You're looking at some huge, messy, overwhelming task, and your brain just stalls out. That paralyzing feeling of, where do I even start? Is exactly what we are going to fix today.
So here's the problem, and it's a really common one. When you give an AI a giant vague prompt like plan an entire product launch, it tries to solve everything all at once. And what do you get back? Usually a pretty useless paragraph because the AI squashes all that incredible complexity down into something that you just can't act on.
And this, right here, is where the task decomposition pattern comes in to save the day. It's the solution. Instead of one giant ask, you tell the AI to break the work down into a logical series of smaller, bite-sized pieces. And just that simple shift, it completely transforms a messy problem into a structured, actionable plan.
But here's the real kicker, the thing that makes this so powerful. The magic isn't just making a list. Anyone can make a list. It's about choosing the right kind of steps. The goal is to make the AI's plan actually mirror how the work would get done in the real world. That is where you find true clarity.
Okay, so how do you actually do that? Well, it's not just guesswork. It turns out there's a whole toolkit for it. Different tasks need different structures, and if you understand these three main types of decomposition, you're going to be set. First up, the classic, sequential steps. This is your standard to-do list. Step 1, then Step 2, then Step 3. You use this when one thing has to happen before the next one can even start. Think about writing a proposal, right? You've got to do the research before you can outline, and you need that outline before you can start writing the draft. This structure is all about building momentum.
Okay, next up, parallel work streams. This is for when lots of different things can all happen at the same time. It's absolutely perfect for speeding up your work. A great example is planning a big event. The team booking the venue, the team getting speakers, and the marketing team can all be working at once. This avoids those frustrating bottlenecks.
And the third one in our toolkit is hierarchical phases. This is your go-to for those giant multi-month projects where you need to see both the 30,000-foot view and all the little details on the ground. Like a major software rollout. You'd have a big discovery phase, then a design phase, then an implementation phase, and each of those would have its own little checklist of tasks inside it.
So, just to put it all together real quick, you're going to use a sequential structure when you need to build momentum one step after another. Go with a parallel structure when you need to accelerate and get things done faster. And you pull out the hierarchical structure when you need both that high-level overview and all the nitty-gritty details. Now, picking the right structure, that's half the battle. The other half? Getting the level of detail just right. We call this granularity, and it's a real balancing act. Too many steps, and you're just drowning in a checklist. Too few, and the plan isn't really actionable at all. Let's break that down. You can really think about it in 3 levels. High level is for your executive summary, just the 3 to 5 major phases to show the big picture. Mid-level is more like your standard project plan, maybe 5 to 12 really concrete steps. And then you have detailed, which is what you use when you're delegating work, breaking those main steps down into 3 to 5 super clear subtasks. Okay, enough theory. Let's get practical. How do we actually put this stuff into practice? Let's talk about the exact prompts you can use and, just as importantly, the triggers that should tell you, hey, it's time to use this pattern. And the beauty of this is that the prompt itself is super simple. You don't need to overthink it. A flexible little template like this works wonders. Break this into N steps. For each step, provide what to include. That's it. From there, you can get specific, asking for things like the owner, the key activities, or the dependencies. You can even tell the AI which structure to use, like break this into 4 hierarchical phases. So, when should you reach for this? Well, the signals are pretty obvious. Are you feeling totally overwhelmed? Use it. Is the task going to take more than a few hours? Use it. Got multiple people involved? Oh yeah, definitely use it. Anytime you've got dependencies, you need to estimate resources, or you're trying to delegate work, this pattern is going to be your best friend. All right, last piece of the puzzle. Once the AI gives you a plan, how do you know if it's any good? Let's walk through a quick checklist to make sure the plan you got is truly actionable and ready to go. The big question you always have to ask is this: is the plan you got actually the right size? Is it something you or your team can just pick up and start working on right away with no confusion? A really solid plan has 6 key qualities.
Are the steps actually things you can do? Is the sequencing, the order of things, totally clear? Can you see the dependencies? Does every step have a clear output, like a finished document or a decision? Does the whole thing flow logically? And finally, is it complete? Is anything major missing? If you can check off all those boxes, you're in fantastic shape.
So let's look at a perfect example that pulls everything we've talked about together. Notice how this prompt specifies a hierarchical structure, 5 phases. And then it asks for very specific details for each phase, the activities, the team responsible, the main dependency, and even a success metric. This is exactly how you guide an AI to create a high-quality, genuinely useful plan.
And that's it. That is the task decomposition pattern. It's a simple idea, but it's an incredibly effective way to turn that feeling of chaos into a plan you can actually follow. So the only question left is, what overwhelming task are you going to tackle first?